Hey, happy Thursday. It is me, Queen V. I am here again. Yes. We have been dealing with Hurricane Michael. And it happened in Florida, but it affected people in Georgia. The winds were high, it's been raining. And at one point, I received an email from the governor saying that, we may have to evacuate. So I started praying. I started binding the storm. But it can be a little bit scary. Last year we dealt with Hurricane Irma. It affected Georgia. We were without lights, electricity, and I lost out on work because I work from home. So I lost money, and it can be a scary situation. And so these storms, they come every year. These storms come. Just like in our lives, we have storms. We may go through a storm of poverty, a storm of lack, a storm of some type of health issue, some type of condition in our body, or something to that effect. It could be a storm of rejection where people are rejecting you left and right. I can attest to that. I have had so much rejection in my life. Still experience. I experienced rejection from people that in life you feel like you shouldn't have to experience rejection from certain people. I love the Lord and I love people, but I deal with rejection from people in places that I feel like I shouldn't be dealing with rejection with you, because you are supposed to be close to me, or you are a Christian. So why am I experiencing this from you? And so a lot of times we deal with rejection from people like our parents. It could be a brother or sister, and then it could be people in the church that you feel like they know better, but they may be dealing with jealousy or envy or some type of thing they're going through. And I have gotten a lot of people are funny, and people probably call me funny, and I say I do funny things. Like, a lot of times I try to keep to myself because I have dealt with so many phony people. When I say phony, I mean those false people that smile in your face, and some of them say nice things to you, but on the inside, they really don't like you, or they're jealous. They don't really even have a reason to be. And so a lot of times in life, we're going to deal with people who reject us. And so I want to read this scripture in Mark chapter 12. And it talks about the man that planted a vineyard. And he did everything. He cultivated it. He put a fence or gate or whatever around it. And he built the tower. He even built a tower. And so the tower was for the husbandman or the watchman to watch over the vineyard. And so what he did was sent a servant to the husbandman, or the gatekeeper, or the watcher, or whoever he was. He sent a servant to him, and so that the servant could get some of the fruit of the increase from the vineyard. And so when the servant went, the husbandman caught the servant and beat the servant. Right. And then he sent another servant. And so the husbandman started throwing stones at the servant. Okay? And sent him away shamefully. And so for the third time, he sent another servant. And this time this servant was killed. Okay? And then having one son, his only beloved, he sent him last, saying they would never do anything to my son. Lo and behold, they took the son and killed him because they did not want the son to have the inheritance. They wanted the inheritance themselves. So they killed the son and cast him out of the vineyard. So what shall the Lord of the vineyard do? He will come and destroy the husbandman and will give the vineyard unto others. So this is in Mark chapter 12. Now look at verse 10. It says, and have ye not read this scripture? The stone which the builders rejected is become the head of the corner. And then verse 11, it says, this was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. So all of these things happen. Jesus was rejected. He was mocked. He was scorned. But this was all a part of the plan. It was all a part of the plan. And the Lord said it's good. It's marvelous. This is the Lord's doing. And it's marvelous in his eyes, because a lot of times we feel like we're going through these things. I feel like that too. Where you experience rejection from your family, rejection from those people at church, rejection from people who feel like you may excel above them. They don't want you to. They want to see you down all the time. And so they are standoffish to you, and they try not to include you in things. And they want you to stay at a certain level of being needy. And so they treat you a certain kind of way. They only tolerate you. They don't never celebrate you. And so these things happen. They happen. And it's no surprise to God. It's what it is a setup. Because it says that the stone that the builders rejected became the chief. And so a lot of times we are rejected. And it don't feel good. It doesn't feel good. Sometimes it can cause you to go into oppression, depression, and cause you to, some people want to commit suicide and things like that. But a lot of times these things happen so that it can push us into greater things. It can push us into being a better person. It can push us to knowing how not to be towards somebody. And so if you're going through this rejection and you're feeling lonely, you're feeling depressed, and you have people that are supposed to be close to you that are not doing what they're supposed to do, they don't want to have anything to do with you unless it's about you helping them, then don't worry about that. You know, God has a plan for you. He's going to raise you up. As long as you're not bitter, as long as you don't have this root of bitterness in you, then God is going to raise you up, and He's gonna set you before kings and princes and your enemies. He's going to spread a table before you in the presence of your enemies. Your enemies may be those of your own household, could be those in your own church, those in your own school, on your job. But God will set you up, and He will exalt you before their eyes. They will be astonished. They will be surprised. And some that are already jealous and envious, and when they have no reason to be, they're going to be even more jealous and envious. And so just continue and know that according to the word, it says, this was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. It's the Lord's doing. It's the Lord's doing. You're going through this for a reason, so that Because God is going to raise you up. And when He raises you up and puts you in that position, you will know how not to treat people. And you will know how to treat people. That's all I have for today. God bless you. And you have a good rest of your weekend. Love you.